Today's class is performance tips. So we're going to talk a little bit about what you actually do when you're on stage. So we're assuming that you've come up with a great story, you've got your punchlines. The first thing you need to do is memorize your content. While there are some situations, like at an open mic night, where people can read off of or will read off of their phone or off of a piece of paper, for a stage performance, you always want to have your content memorized. The other thing you want to learn how to do is how to hold a mic properly. If this pen is a microphone, you always want to hold it on your chin so you can actually touch it to your chin. So that's the top of the microphone, right below your bottom lip. And that's the best sound quality. So you'll just get used to, when you practice having something actually touching your chin, because that's going to be the best position for the microphone. The reason you have it touch your chin is so that you don't slowly move it down and down and down and down away from your mouth. So if it's touching your chin, you know it's always in the right spot. Think about what you're going to wear. You want to wear something that stands out, something that draws attention to you. One of the reasons you want to do this is because you want people to come up and talk to you after the show, which means you want to be dressed in something that they recognize. So whether that's a cool pair of shoes or a flashy shirt or a ball cap, whatever it is that kind of stands out, it's also something that you can use during your act to draw attention to yourself. Movement. When you're on stage, use the stage if you can. This is really about personal preference. If you stand still in one place, that's going to be okay, but chances are you're going to be nervous and you're going to have some of that nervous energy as well. So it's okay to pace back and forth. It's okay to sit down on the stool and stand back up. So moving when you're on stage is just another thing that you can do to help keep the audience engaged with you. You can talk with your hands, you can use the microphone as a prop, but try to remember to put some movement as opposed to just freezing up and not doing anything when you're up there. Slow down. This might be the hardest thing. You have to remember that you're up there to have a good time and to show other people a good time. So you don't want to rush through your content. Timing is everything. So as part of memorizing your content, don't think about this as something that you're trying to hurry up to get it out so that you don't forget it. You really need to have your content memorized to the point where you can stop right before your punchline. So you want to stop and just kind of take a step back, have some sort of a cue for yourself that you're getting ready to deliver your punchline, and then practice waiting for that laugh to be over. You never want to talk over people laughing at you because that's the whole reason that you're up there. Time yourself. So when you're practicing your content, time your content when you're reading it off of the paper, and then put the paper down and time the content that you have memorized. Chances are you'll be faster when you're not reading it off of the paper. You want to make sure that you take as much time as you can in delivering that content. Getting the light. So what will happen a lot of times when you're performing is you'll get an indication with a light. So somebody will be telling you that there's only 30 seconds left or only a minute left in your act. As soon as you get that light, you want to make sure that you respect it and that you don't start a whole new story unless the story only takes about 30 seconds. But that light is your indication that it's time to leave the stage. So you want to finish up with the joke that you're on, or you want to immediately transition to the last joke that you were planning to tell so that you can leave the stage on time. Now, what do you do if they don't laugh at a joke? This is where you have to know that sometimes how we deliver it, maybe it doesn't come across just right, maybe our timing was off, maybe it's just not as funny of a joke as we think it is. Some audiences aren't going to laugh at every joke that you're planning for them to laugh at. When that happens, it's really important that you have some comeback, not angry, not combative, not anything like that, not, oh, you're such a stupid audience because you didn't laugh at my joke. But something that says when it falls flat, well, I guess they're not all as funny as I thought they would be. Because in that vulnerability, people will still give you a reaction and they'll still kind of chuckle, or they'll give you something that will help you kind of move on. You also want to make sure that if you are recording your set, which I highly recommend that you do, I really recommend that you record every set. Either have somebody record you, or you can take your phone up and you can just record it on a voice memo so that you can listen to it later. Pay attention to where people laughed and where they didn't laugh, because sometimes they laugh where you didn't expect them to laugh, and you'll want to pay attention to that. And then you'll also want to make sure that the places where they didn't laugh are places where you're still going to choose to keep that in your act, or maybe you decide that maybe that's not a joke that you need to keep anymore. After a couple of times of people not laughing at a joke, you really should let it go. And that's it. Those are our performance tips for today. Have a great time on stage.